play. All right, my goddesses, my queens, my leading ladies, I want to welcome you to day 3 of the Leading Lady Challenge 2023, our third Soak, Sip, and Listen interview session. And I am so excited to introduce these queens to you. We have Danny Frederick tonight with us. We have Jonita D'souza here, and they're going to be dropping feminine wisdom around manifestation. We might even get into some feminine chanting tonight. And I am really excited about the conversation that we're about to have, because today was such a sacred energy talking about the body, especially as women and all that we do as women with our bodies. We are literally the creators, literally. Life comes from us. So this conversation that we had this morning about the body is so intimate and so sacred and so real and so deep that we're going to continue on in that energy with this deep feminine juiciness tonight with these queens. And I am so excited. If you are new to the challenge, because we still have had so many women joining, like we are at like 650 right now, I think, with women all over the world that are registered, and so many of you are still joining. We had a lot of new women come in today, so I'm still going to be sharing at the top of each of these calls our housekeeping moments, so all of you have resonance on what's going on. So as our new goddesses are coming into the tribe, they are up to date. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to refresh all of you here on what's popping in the community. So the Leading Lady Challenge Facebook group is where it's all going down. It's where it's all going down. So if you have not had a chance to join the Facebook group, I encourage you to do that right now. Elena's going to drop that in the chat. Also want to send so much love to Elena, Taylor, and Siobhan, my team members that are helping me produce this challenge. They have been supporting me and you throughout this entire event. And Elena's here rocking it out with me solo tonight. So send her your love always in the chat and in the replays. Send Elena some love. She's going to be supporting us in the chat this evening. So in the Facebook group, you're going to go to the guides section. This is where everything will be. Guide 1 is the Leading Lady Challenge 2023 details. So everything you need to know to support you, to set you up for success inside of this challenge is here in the guides section. So we have our favorites products list. So we're doing giveaways. I'm sure that's no secret to those of you who have been around, but for those of you who are just joining, we're doing daily giveaways from our sponsors. And so tomorrow's giveaway is hosted by Rachel Robinson, her beautiful, beautiful book that she's going to be sending out to a lucky goddess, autographed book. She is a best-selling author. She's a longtime community member of the Goddess Bath Experience and also a personal friend of mine. And she has graced us with one of her beautiful offerings, one of her books about poetry of love. And it is so juicy. I have a copy myself. I have a signed copy as well. So I am excited for the woman who's going to win that juicy gift tomorrow. And we also have favorites list here. So if you didn't win a giveaway that you like, then you're able to purchase from our sponsors for a discounted rate. We also have the link to the Leading Lady Challenge bundle. So if you want to have access to this, all of this juiciness, all the interviews, all of the morning activations for lifetime access, is just $22 for the rest of this challenge. Add our calendar to yours so you don't miss a thing. That link is right here. It also tells you how to enter to win prizes, challenge best practices, and our full calendar as well here in graphic form. All the replays, if you scroll down, all the replays, all of the gifts from each speaker, evening sessions, morning sessions, the daily ponder prompt and goddess game is there, and also the daily giveaways. So everything is here in the guide section, and we also send it out in the daily replay email. So if you've landed in the Facebook group but you've not had a chance to register and you're like, what is all of this? I'm so new. I started my Facebook group and I want to join. Make sure you register. So Elena's going to be dropping a couple of links in the chat. She'll be dropping the favorites list, the Facebook group, the bundle, and then also the calendar link. So she's going to drop a couple of things to support all of you in the chat. And for those of you watching in the Facebook group, just hop on in the guides and that will support you there. And also follow us on Instagram. We can drop that in the chat as well. Amazing. So without further ado, we'll move on to the juiciness of this evening. Get on into this thing. I am so excited to welcome our first guest speaker. this woman I have been super excited to play with. I've been watching her in the background quietly. We've been messaging on Instagram, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to collaborate with her. We share a mentor, Miss Jolie Dawn, that you'll have the opportunity to meet later on in this challenge. And so I want to introduce Jonita D'souza. She is a leadership mentor for women, a feminine lifestylist, and creatrix of the Feminine Empress Codes, assisting modern day busy women who struggle with burnout, body love, and authentic self-expression to reconnect with their feminine and sensual energy, using the ancient feminist Taoist Tantric somatic art so that they can create a lifestyle that is fulfilling and juicy and amazing. She's also a certified life coach, NLP practitioner, master hypnotherapist, and combines teachings of Indian feminine mysticism and shamanism in her work. So I am going to welcome up this goddess, this queen, so you can hear from her, get these codes. I am beyond excited. I'm going to be taking notes too as she's sharing her journey and her story. And Jonita, I want to welcome you to this space, queen. Thank you for making time to be here with us tonight.
So happy to be here, Nicole. Yes, we've been back and forth, and I'm so happy that finally I get to be taking part in this online beautiful event. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I am not in the bus today, but I am with my hibiscus tea here, and ready to be here with you all and see what we can co-create. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Nicole.
I'm so blessed to have you. So what I would love to do is just drop us into who you are. Give us a little bit of your background in your own words. Introduce yourself and take us into your world.
Yeah, so I think you said it all almost. I call myself a self-leadership mentor, and I use the ancient Taoist Tantric arts to bridge a connection between the Eastern and the Western world. I am born in India, and I've lived all my adult life in London in UK. So there is this whole connection of bridging that I was able to bring into the modern day lifestyle of us women, using the ancient feminine arts, and in particular using the gifts of the body as the topic today, in particular using the gifts of sensuality and sexuality, not just for pleasure, but also for our vitality, and also for experiencing higher levels of consciousness. And my work this year is going to be 10th year in business. So it's really exciting. I was never meant to create a business, but my work around this topic is available online. I do sacred feminine retreats and offer digital courses, moon circles. So that's in short, just a little bit about my work.
Thank you for sharing that and dropping us in a little bit deeper with you. And so tell us a little bit about, how did you get started on your journey? Because there's a lot of things that you're offering. So how did you get started on this journey of where you are now?
Yeah, so as I said, I was born in India, and I came from a very privileged family in India where we were taught as women, as little girls, we were taught that the way to become independent is to be financially independent. So at the time, growing up in very masculine society, all my aim was, the goal of my life was to be not under any other man, and just to be financially free and be an independent woman. And that's how I will be able to express myself. So this led me to, like most of the Indians who end up becoming IT engineer or doctor. So I ended up becoming an IT engineer, and I went into corporate world at the age of 21, and went into a beautiful position. And I thought that was it. That's how I become an independent woman, because now I can take care of myself. I make my own money, and that's it. And I have been an introvert all my life, and I found it really, really difficult to be fully me, or even express myself in the boardroom. And I felt like even though I was making the money, even though I had facilities, materialistic facilities, I wasn't feeling independent. And at the back of my head, somehow, growing up watching MTV and some movies from the Hollywood, I always assumed that women in the West were independent because they had more opportunities of expression and being. So somehow I secretly believed that if I was in the West, I would have felt more independent as a woman. And so at the age of 23, I had the opportunity to move to London in England. And I thought, that's it, that's my gateway to feel the real independence. I'm going to the West and I'm going to start a new life and I'm going to be an independent woman. And there I was in London. So I lived and I worked there and I was exploring, the freedom of expression and the certain little things that I couldn't do in India, which was more like, just wearing the clothes that I want, walking safely in the streets. At that time, I did not feel safe in my body while I was in India. So I was really enjoying my life in London and made a circle of friends there in my corporate world. And soon I noticed that most of the people, and specifically women that I was surrounded with, were kind of caught or bounded by this external expression of themselves. So yes, they were independent and free, but it was all about looking good all the time. That you have to look good to be accepted in social circles. You have to look good to be, heard and seen in the boardroom. You have to look good to be seen, pretty much. And it was more of a doing that I was noticing among the women around me. And I tried doing that as well. So ended up into feeling fully burnt out and reaching a point in my life where things just crumbled in my life. My father from India, he passed away, and I was in this toxic relationship, and the whole idea of confusion in my body somehow resulted in extreme case of psoriasis all over my skin. So I was in this crucial low point in my life where I just thought this was it. I thought I could be in the West and I would feel free, but I don't. Something is missing. I just don't understand what it is. I'm doing all the things, but I don't know. And I don't want to go back to India because I was so scared to live a life there without my father who literally gave me wings. So I was really confused how to be a woman at that age, what womanhood was. And that inquiry really led me to synchronicities. I came across a Facebook ad of Women's Circle, which was like 10 pounds for 2 hours. I thought I have nothing to lose. Let's go see what's going on there. And I'll sit by the door. And if I don't like it, and if it's too woo-woo, because I forgot to mention that I grew up in a very strict Christian family in India. So if this women's circle is too woo-woo, I'm going to just leave. So I sat there next to the door for the 2 hours of the circle, and I cried and cried and cried and cried. And for the first time, the women around me, for the first time, no one told me, it's okay, don't cry. Instead, I was just held with my hands and I was told, we see you. And the teacher there said something really beautiful. She said that the biggest gift that you can give to someone is to show them their essence. And that made me cry because I realized that I didn't know what my essence was. And that was the beginning of my journey into the divine feminine exploration. So I decided to stay for the entire time. I cried my eyes off, and I decided to work with that teacher who was from Glastonbury at the time, UK, and we worked into discovering feminine essence, and eventually it's evolved into from a personal journey into a full-fledged business organically. So it wasn't very intentional, but yeah, like we all through personal crisis end up creating a gift for the world.
Oh my God, I resonate with this story so much. And I really want to see some chatter in the chat around like, what was your first experience of a women's circle? Because I had the same kind of resonance of like, this is available.
Yeah.
This is available. Someone's gonna hold me as I cry and not try to fix anything, but like just be with me as I like feel through this. And I also resonate with your story around like my personal journey ended up turning into a business as well. And that was not my intention. Like, and I've mentioned this many times in the Goddess Bath experience, like my intention was never to like show my spiritual gifts on a stage in this way. Like that was not the plan. It was not the plan to turn it into a business or a community. Like this was not, it was not on the agenda. It was not on the agenda. And it just evolved into that because it was a part of my calling. And I would imagine you would probably say the same at this point as well, that it was always a part of your calling that was meant to awaken inside of you.
Yes, I totally agree. The calling is something that we can connect only through our essence. And when I was doing this essence work, I found out that there was a lot of rage and anger inside of me, and that scared me. I thought that, I was grown up to be a nice girl, and I was told that be a nice girl, smile, and don't express yourself too much. Look good, but don't be seen, but don't be heard. That those were like the mentality of the society that I grew up in as a teenager. So somehow, somewhere, I had a lot of anger and suppressed inside of me, which I didn't know. And there would be like certain occasions when there would be some outbursts of anger and some outburst of anger. Maybe it's around my PMS time, during my periods, or sometimes when I would, at the time when I would get drunk, there would be like sudden breakdowns, and I wouldn't know, and I would feel guilty later. And when doing this work, so my teacher at the time said that when women begin to discover their essence, they discover a lot of anger, suppressed anger inside of them, in their roots. And that is absolutely normal. Don't be scared. Let us see through it all. Let us sit through it all. And for me, that was huge. And I wanted to do some, embodiment somatic practices, what she was teaching me. I was going to Glastonbury every weekend. So I was still in my full-time job, and I was going to Glastonbury every weekend and learning from her and coming back. And I wanted a practice group. She suggested to me that I can open up a meetup group, and maybe some women who are interested would join in, so you can gather together and practice this. So I was like, fine, I can do that in my living room, not a big deal. I'll chip in with a few other ladies, and let's do this. And when I set up the meetup group and I set up the first event, over 400 women signed up. And I freaked out. I was like, what's this? What am I supposed to do with so many women? I just wanted 2 other women to practice with. And of course, my living room can only hold 2-3 other women, not those 400. So I had to write to every one of them, sorry, next time, I'll call you next time, next round. So I was creating wait list, and I was practicing with women week after week. And my teacher said, don't you think is it time for you to learn a little bit of facilitation, so you know how to hold space? Because looks like there are a lot of women who are feeling and going through similar things. And it is meant for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be shown these numbers and this kind of response. And that was the beginning of me learning to then hold space, while I was also learning to hold space for myself.
Oh, so good. So, so good. I resonate with that so much, especially the point about rage. Like, I remember when I discovered having like a rage ceremony. And ladies, if you've never like set up a rage ceremony for yourself, I highly, highly recommend. It is like she said, it's in our roots, right? And I have not had the experience of birthing a child yet, but I have had this conversation with my friends who have, and they're like, the energy and the sheer force that it takes to like, especially that final push of when the baby comes out, it is like some next level energy. So I would imagine that's a little bit of what we get to tap into with that rage. So thank you for bringing that into the space. So I want to transition a little bit and ask you around this question around the leading lady. And when you hear this phrase, this energy, this term, I'm curious to know, what does the leading lady mean to you?
The leading lady, I had to define for myself what leading meant for me. And as I said, that I am an introvert, and then, coming into this business world and putting yourself out there and doing all the work and leading all of that. And I was following all the marketing strategies and sales and networking and all of that burnt me down. And I felt like, I don't want to do this work. Let me just go back to my corporate job. It was easier, right? I was getting good pay, and I just have to be on my autopilot. This is too much for my soul. The woman that I am, I can't hold so much of external energy. So I had to really find out what that unique balance of leading that meant for me as an introvert. And so I developed I went into a few ceremonies, and I was guided into a very intimate way of leading myself, which is through self-leadership. And for me, leading lady means that I am leading myself. I'm taking the responsibility of my life to lead myself in directions that I truly desire without requiring approval from others. And really honing down the concept of self-leadership. And, we see that we are usually influenced by our surroundings, by our environment. So for me, it became really influencing my own thoughts, ideas, perspectives that suited my being, that suited my personality. And I think that's exactly what we are doing here, gathering in spaces where we can consciously influence our own selves, because if we don't do it, then there is a lot whole modality outside of us to influence our thoughts, beliefs. So for me, leading meant to begin to influence myself in ways that felt aligned to my character, my personality, and again, the whole human design. I'm a projector, and I like to lay back. And and my gene key number 23 is pretty much about making things simple in life. So I had to really cut down all the layers and understand one thing, that if I'm going to lead myself, then I have to take a seat next to the co-creator. So I am not going to approach this whole life, this whole leading bit from beggar's consciousness, like, please help me, or please, I'm going to take up my seat as the conscious co-creator and be there, invoking, having conversation with the co-creator. And when I stepped into that mindset that I am a co-creator, that means I don't have to do everything by myself. I do what I can do, but then there is the other half where life meets me halfway. That felt so relaxing and relieving for all the things that we think that we have to be doing ourselves. So really honing this connection with the co-creator, like another girlfriend or sister, like, hey, let's do this. I can get through this today, and let's see what you can get through. But what I noticed before, I was approaching life as through this beggar consciousness. And again, there is nothing wrong in this whole concept of beggar, but I just want to say, like, what I meant by beggar consciousness is the needy consciousness. Like we've been, and specifically like I know of so many of us women who grew up strongly in religious background have been taught how to pray. And we really pray like we've been taught to pray like we are sinners, we are less than, we are less worthy, and there is something bigger and higher, and they're gonna like save us, rescue us from our dire straits, right? So leading lady meant for me to really step up my worthiness game and really claim that and take my seat next to the co-creator, and let's begin this game of life.
Oh, I love that. Mic drops on like taking a seat next to the co-creator, like co-creating like with the creator. Like I love that. And then also around like the beggar energy, right? Because I also grew up I grew up in a Christian home, so religious home, and prayer was very much a begging process of please help me, please save me, someone come in on your white horse and save me. And especially as a woman, like not only are we getting that in religion if you grew up in that space, but it's all in marketing, it's in everything we watch, it's all over the place that someone somehow somewhere is going to come along and save us from our traumatic life. And the reality is no one is coming to save us, queens.
Yes.
He can save us. No one's coming. like nobody's coming. No one's coming. We
no
get
more waiting. Yeah.
No one's coming. Amazing. So I would love to, before we transition out, I would love to know, what are your like manifestation rituals that you do in your life to manifest? Would love to hear that.
I never realized until recently, until last few years ago, that manifestation could be so much fun. So I love what you do with the goddess bath experience. So much fun, so much juiciness and relaxation in the body, rather than thinking that, oh my God, I have to be positive and I have to feel positive and then I can manifest, right? So I like to make moon water. So I do that during full moons, and that is one way for me to rejuvenate myself and say my manifestation invocations. I like to use my blood, my sacred blood, menstruation blood, as anointing, as offering. I make menstruation mandalas on the earth with my offering as ceremony as well. What else? I like to do sex magic as manifestation. So I think we get to make it fun. And that's the beauty of it. We have to really take our healing spiritual journey with slight lightheartedness. I think we've gone too serious into healing.
Oh, thank you for all of those. You just gave us several. The moon water, using the sacred blood, and that's a new practice I've been working with recently, is working with sacred blood, and I love it. That's a whole activation. It's a whole activation. And then of course the sex magic. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that ritual as well. So, and I agree with you. We get to make it fun. We get to make it fun, and it gets to be uniquely ours. There's so many different ways, there's so many tools, and that's what my intention is in the Goddess Bath experience, but also in the Leading Lady Challenge, is to bring so many amazing women in front of you who are utilizing a plethora of tools. And not everything is always going to resonate with you, and that's fine, but there's so many out here for you to take and use and try on and see what works for you. And so thank you for just dropping like 3 or 4 really awesome ones into the space for us. So Jonita, before you leave, I know you have an incredible gift for these goddesses here. And what would you like to share with the goddesses?
So my free gift is called Sensualize Your Womb. So in there, I share series of 7 days practices to get into your senses and connect with your womb space through various practices. I think that's a very great way to connect to the center of our feminine body and discover what else is possible.
Thank you so much. And Elena just dropped the link for you in the chat. And for those of you watching the replay, don't worry, we got you covered. It's going to go out in the replay email, and we'll also have it in the Facebook group so you'll get it and see it. And then I'm seeing so many questions coming through the chat here. Let's see. Rage ceremony, someone had a question about. I'm also seeing about using the blood and sex magic. And so if we can, would you mind responding to that, those questions in the chat, Jonita? And then I'm going to bring Danny up. And then if there's time at the end, we'll get a little panel discussion going, and we'll respond to some of these collectively as well. So thank you so much, Queen. She's going to stick around and answer some questions in the chat. Make sure you follow her. I'm going to bring on our next incredible guest speaker. And then if we've got some time, or if you ladies are like vibing to stick around for a little bit longer, we'll do a quick little panel discussion at the end and answer some juicy questions for you ladies. So we'll just vibe, we'll just flow. And Jonita, thank you so much, goddess. You are just a whole vibe queen. You are a whole vibe.
So much fun to be with you. All right, I'm gonna get into the chat and I'm gonna answer some questions.
Yes, and please send Jonita some love in the chat, everybody. Please send her some love. She deserves it. I am going to bring up our next speaker, our next goddess, songstress, enchantress. Danny Frederick has become one of my close personal friends, and this queen, this goddess, she is a divine feminine healer, a songstress, and a spiritual mentor. And the cornerstone of her work brings people together for sovereign reclamation. I just love that. Sovereign reclamation. She dances between worlds, marrying the ancient healing arts of the priestess with the modern day leadership technologies to make the powerful practical, which is so important. She is the creatrix of the Drum and Fire, a monthly chanting collective for feminine vocal reclamation. She facilitates retreats around the world and brings people back into relationship with their divine. It is my honor, it is my pleasure to welcome up my sister, this queen, this goddess, this leading lady, Danny Frederick. Hello, queen. How are you doing?
Hello, my beautiful sister and sisters. Thank you. Thank you. Such an honor to be here. I love being in your energy, and it's always just such a great pleasure to hang with your peeps, because your peeps are dope as fuck. So happy to be here.
We got the peeps in the Goddess Bath community. Yes, the ladies are fire around here. We do all the things. We get it popping. Shout out to the ladies of the Goddess Bath experience. We are here for it. So Danny, drop us into your world. Tell us, bring us into your background. Tell us a little bit about your background and then how you got to this space.
Yeah, so I would say, I'm really just a vessel of the goddess. That's what I dedicate my life to, is bringing the sacred through. And as you had said, that can look in different ways. That can be at retreats, that can be in one-on-one healing. And it's mostly right now around sound. I am creating Spotify music with chants that activate our cellular crystalline DNA so that we can begin to embody and train ourselves to really be that leading lady in this context. And where it really started is on the opposite side of the spectrum, where I was stuck in so much toxic masculinity. I was rigid, I was tight, I was like, no one has my back. I need a bank account for when I get cancer. I need a bank account for when I have a baby and it's handicapped, and the world is out to get me and everything's horrible. And I'm going to work 80 hours a week because I don't feel safe. And I'm just going to judge myself by what's in my bank account. And I'm going to black out every weekend so I can forget that Monday's coming. And then when Monday comes, I'm going to be, that professional warrior that's kicking ass and taking names. And basically just a hyper extreme of all things patriarchy. I was a nice little gift basket of that.
Never with the patriarchy, just kidding.
And here's the deal: the patriarchy hurts everyone, however you identify, whatever gender. It's a control. It's a power structure that keeps us outside of ourselves, keeps us having to grind, of always doing more, of feeling like when we're resting, we're not good enough. We're not going to get there, wherever there is. Because I'll tell you what, in a recent previous life, so the past 5 years, I've worked with executives, owners of companies. I'm talking multimillionaires. Okay. There's always the next thing. When you're always looking outside yourself and you've gotten on that hamster wheel, there's always the next thing. You're never truly peaceful. You're never truly happy. You're never truly in harmony until you do the inner work. And so that is really where my journey has taken me. Is I continuously moved, I switched jobs, I did whatever, because I had this driving knowing within. I knew I was like, we're supposed to lead wildly fulfilling lives. I just know that. Even though everyone tells me no, and they're like, you should be happy, your life's great on paper, like you live in Manhattan, you sell $25 million penthouses, like whatever. All looked really good, right? And I was broken. I was really, really broken. I didn't love myself. I wouldn't have said that at the time because I didn't know, but retroactively, I really didn't love myself. I was a huge people pleaser. I was just stuck in a lot of these disempowering patterns. And because I kept changing jobs, I really oriented around the job. So I was like, the job is supposed to be the most fulfilling thing, even though people say, no, Danny, just make your money and then you have fun outside of work. And that's like a good life. And so I would switch jobs, but because I wasn't changing myself, I would recreate the same patterns. I would still be working unhealthy hours. I would still be skipping meals. I would still be hating what I was doing because I was just choosing whatever job I would do based on the amount of money it would pay me rather than what I'm actually good at. So I got good at a lot of things that I actually suck at. So what that means is it took so much energy for me to be at the top of my industry doing things that weren't aligned for me to do. And it took a toll on my health. It took, physical health, mental health, emotional health, all of it. So my journey was really about coming home to my heart, to my soul, and learning the power of the feminine, which, can be very mystifying in today's day and age, because a lot of the power of the feminine is in the unseen, and it's in the softness. It can be, yes, in that rage, and like that's also a beautiful aspect and of the feminine. And there's this other part that we've really lost of the gentleness is medicine. I don't have to be in my big blazer, my chest puffed out, my high heels on, like, let's go, motherfucker, I'm going to win this deal. I can come in with my flowery, flowy blouse and be like, how's your day? Oh, that's so great. And I just know that because I've been watering my juicy feminine garden, that this deal is going to go through because I say it is. And I am that queen. And it is happening. Okay. So that's a little bit on my journey.
Oh, and I'm seeing so much come through the chat for you, Danny, around like what you're witnessing. And this is what's so fun about divine feminine energy. When you really are the embodiment of the leading lady, the queen, the like all of these archetypes, right? There's so many to take on, and we're choosing to take on the leading lady in this respect. And it's like when you really take it on and you embody it and you feel the fullness of what all of that means, like you have the range of the rage and the range of the softness, and you hold in both of that. There is nothing in this world that you cannot have, be, do, achieve, because you are literally the walking embodiment of the divine at that point. Like that is goddess energy. That is creation energy. Oh, aho, and so it is. Yes, so good, so good. So Danny, I'm so curious when it comes to manifesting and manifestation, because it's a big topic, especially over the last 10 years, and especially right now, everybody wants to manifest and to like create and manifest, right? It's become like the hot topic, the hot word, but like really, what does it mean? And like really, how do you do it? So in Danny's words, what is manifestation and how do you do that thing?
Well, I want to come out the gate saying that it is different for everyone. So I think self-awareness is really key as you're trying out different modalities to kind of track in your internal system. Does this feel good? Does this not feel good? I really stayed away from manifestation for a long time because the core of my being is truly extremely deeply feminine. And it's, it's encoded in the word manifestation, man, masculine. And a lot of what happens is we're taught, okay, let's just take a random example. I want a car. Okay, so I got to visualize the type of car, the brand of the car, the color of the car, envision me driving down the street, and then I need to feel it. And it's like, And again, that might work for people. So I'm not hating if that's you. I'm just providing that contrast of that really like, oh, I feel so much constriction when I'm asked to specify what I want. Because I know what I want from a frequential standpoint. I want to feel free. I want to feel light. I want to feel boundless. I want to feel limitless. I want to feel abundant. That's where I can really start. I'm like, ooh, like I'm already getting turned on, like I can really, that's where it is versus, oh, I want this job. I want this house. I want to live in this country. I want it to look like this. So for me, manifestation is really about tending to my vessel as though I would tend to a garden. So I go to my garden every day and I pull out the weeds because I know as I pull out the weeds, roses will grow. But I'm not going to my garden every day and say, grow, rose, grow. I planted this seed. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to be this high. You're supposed to be 7 inches. You're supposed to be red. You're supposed to be, blossoming. Like, absolutely not. And when I say pull out the weeds, it's really like, well, what are my limiting beliefs? What in my identity, in my mental construct, stands between me and feeling free? Oh, well, I don't have enough money in my bank account. Okay, well, why? Well, if I don't have enough money, then like my friends won't like me because we go out to these expensive restaurants and we have fun and we go to the best clubs. And if I'm not that, then who's going to hang out with me? Why do I care about who's going to hang out with me? Well, if people don't hang out with me, then I'm not going to feel loved. And if I don't feel loved, then I might as well just die. So you see what I just did there, and it was a little bit rapid fire, but you can always, watch the replay. It's like asking myself, where does this come from? Where does this come from? Where does this come from? And getting to this core belief that is false, this false illusion of, wow, I literally am equating not having money with death because I don't think people will like me. All right, let me work on that. Let me work on pulling that weed out. And then I'll trust that the universe, in place of that weed, will just plant something exquisite in my soil because the universe knows what my heart desires more than I even know. So I just got to clear the way, get myself ready, grind that coal into a diamond, work on my temple, and receive.
Woo! That was some, oh, and the chat is lighting up. That's a word right there, because we've been talking about that in the Leading Lady Challenge around what it means to manifest with celebrity level confidence. And what that phrase really means is you are attracting, you are chasing nothing. You are attracting all that you desire by your beingness. And you literally just explained that so perfectly. It's not about the doing. It's about, let me work on this. Because the more I work on this, what I desire is going to show up. It's just going to be there. It's going to be there, everywhere. And then I get to choose like whatever I please in this experience. And it's my favorite Danny Frederick phrase. You gave me this gift of like saying, we get to be delighted and surprised by the universe. And what happens is when we try to put too much of us on the manifestation of like, it's got to be like she was describing the roles, you'd be this high and this big and this color, is you miss the abundance of being delighted and surprised, because whatever you think up is nothing compared to what the universal law of reciprocity is ready to give to you. You can't even fathom what it is. And you miss out on that by trying to control the experience instead of just dropping into your feminine, juicy energy, watering your garden, and allowing the universe, the divine, to serve you your worthiness up on a platter. So yes, I'm here for that, Danny. I am so here for that. And so I want to know, like, what are some of your manifestation rituals that you have in your toolkit that you can share with these queen goddess leading ladies up in here?
Yes. So, I think I want to first state that no matter where you are on your journey, you can be in ritual. So my ritual looks very different now. My life is a living prayer. I'm in ritual all day, every second. When I started my journey, I was in ritual for like 3 minutes. What I would do is I learned about self-care, and I was like, okay, like what is that? And like someone kind of explained it to me, and I was like, okay, I think I get it. And there's two things that come up when I was really like in that side of the spectrum, and it was saying no. So I used to feel like a huge loser if I didn't have plans on a Friday or Saturday night. Today, I've maybe had plans on a Friday or Saturday night one time this year, and it was like my cousin's graduation from high school. I do not plan. I am in with my guides all weekend. That being said, when I was first starting my journey, it was a practice to say no. So I saw something come through the chat, like, how do I start working on myself? Well, are you afraid to say no to your friends? I was afraid to say no. But what I did is I said, hey guys, I'm trying this new thing. I'm working on myself. I don't really even know what that means, so I can't say anymore. But just so you know, I'm going to say no when you ask me to go out. And I would really appreciate it if you don't badger me. And I would really appreciate it if you keep asking me to hang out, because I'm going to feel left out if you stop. Okay? So it's like that courageous conversation. You need to begin to have them. You need to trust that. And guess what? Some people aren't going to like it. We have created some codependent relationships with the people around us. And when we begin to carve ourselves away from that codependency, we're going to piss some people off. But we're also going to give a lot of other people permission, and they're going to feel so good about that. And that was another thing in our friend group. We then gave everyone permission to cancel plans last minute if that's what was best for our mental health. So, typically it's like, oh, brunch plan. Oh, you're canceling 10 minutes before? Oh, what a bitch. She's so flaky. Da, 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 da. Absolutely not. It's like, yes, queen. What are you going to do? You're going to do a bubble bath? Because that's great. I don't need you to entertain me, because I know that if that's highest and best for you, then my morning just opened up and something delightful is going to come on through. And so that's the first thing. It's again, cool. You want freedom. You want abundance. What in your mind is keeping you from that and those courageous conversations? And then I started doing small practices. I got these frozen mangoes from Trader Joe's, and I would light a candle and I would eat them for like 3 or 5 minutes. And it would just be my time to just appreciate myself. And that's how I started. And the thing is, when you start, I welcome you to start so small. Again, I work with a lot of top performers, and that world is like, go, grind, just do it, right? Like that Nike, like just do it. And that's what our world is oriented around. And I mean, spoiler alert, that doesn't work. That does not work. And what does work is starting really small. So for example, when I began a meditation practice, I started with 1 minute at a time, because I didn't want to do more than that. It was hard. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. And I was not going to do more than that. And what happened is it evolved, and I got up to an hour, no problem. But if I would have been right off the bat, I'm going to meditate for an hour. Hell no, no way I would have a meditation practice. So I would really just say, when it comes to manifestation rituals, the biggest key that I've noticed is self-love, self-compassion, self-gentleness. So how do you show yourself that? Whether that's a self-care ritual like a bath, whether that's a courageous conversation, whether that's saying no, whether that's throwing out all your timelines that you've imagined up when you're trying to control your manifestations. How do you show yourself the greatest amount of love possible today?
So many mic drops. The saying no, the like intentional conversations with people in your life of what you are and are not available for. The starting small to build. Danny, I just love you so much. It's just so juicy. And I would love to take like, I don't know if we can have like 1 or 2 minutes. So Danny is a chantress, and I would love for you to bless us with like maybe 1 to 2 minutes of chanting, so we can be in that energy. It just feels right and juicy. This morning we were like dancing, and like this is all about what the Goddess Bath experience is about, is like bringing in all of these rituals, these juicy rituals to drop us into our self-care, into our manifestation, into our healing, into our transformation. So I just want to open up the container for just 1 to 2 minutes and just putting that juicy energy in the space. You down for that, Danny?
Oh, I am so down. That is my number one ritual. So I'm going to put it in the chat just real quick on chanting. Chanting is a huge way to frequentially align yourself, clear out energy, allow emotions to liberate without having to use a lot of your mental body to strategize. It's one of the things that is most potent because you don't have to have a certification. You don't have to have any training, and it does some heavy lifting like a mother. Okay. So you're going to get cleared out. So with the body today, I thought it would be beautiful to do a chant that goes, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. And those of you who know about the I am key code, anything that's said after I am is very, very important because you become it. So if you're saying, I am sick, I'm not that bad today, that's what you're creating in your reality. So you want to create, I am wonderful, I am free, I am beautiful. So this chant goes, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. And I'll just begin, and then I welcome you to join in. We'll go through it like 8 times so that you can get it. I highly recommend that you do use your voice, at least a whisper, if not full-blown singing, because if you are just repeating the mantras in your head, you are only working with your mental body. That's why sometimes when we break limiting beliefs and we think we've cleared all our shit with money, but then we go to like make an ask for money or receive, and it's like our body constricts because you haven't worked with your physical body. So we have 4 bodies: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. We want to work with all of them. Chanting works with all of them. Okay. I know that was spitfire, but now we only have about 45 seconds. So here we go. Right. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. Keep with that tempo. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. Let's see some snaps. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. And we dance. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. Hey, hey. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. 3 more. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free. Last one. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am free.
Yeah, that was good. So good. Let's flood the chat with love for Danny leading us on that chant. This is what I love about this community and this challenge and just events like this in general. Like, you start to see how simple it is to shift your mindset, how simple it is to really manifest the things that you want. A chant, 3 I am statements, and look at what that creates for yourself. What? That was like 60 seconds, and it immediately shifted your energy. And Queen, thank you so much for bringing that into the space. And I know you have a beautiful gift, a beautiful offering for the community. So I want to give you the opportunity to share that beautiful gift.
Yes, if you would enjoy the chanting, I do a free monthly chanting circle each month. Our next one is June 9th on a Friday. You get a replay if you can't make it live. And the best part is it's just 30 minutes. So I look at it as it's our 30-minute energetic workout to revamp and reclaim our souls. We come together in sisterhood, we do the damn thing, and we leave buzzing. So I would love to see you there and yeah, reclaim your voice. There's a feminine reclamation vocal reclamation revolution happening right now on our planet. So if you feel the call, this can be a great practice for you, and we'd love to have you.
I love that. 30 minutes chanting with Danny. That's a hell fucking yes. That's a full-on hell yes. And Elena's just dropped that beautiful link in the chat. And for those of you watching the replay, we got you. We're going to make sure it goes out in the replay email. It will be in the Facebook group. So we got you covered so you won't miss out on either one of these incredible gifts this evening. We do have a couple more minutes. I'm curious. I'm going to do a pulse check with you ladies here. Would you be interested if I bring Jonita back up and we did like maybe 1 or 2 questions, like panel questions with these goddesses here? Okay, I'm seeing some yeses immediately. Let me grab the gallery. I'm going to bring Jonita back up here with us. Amazing. All right, rapid fire, ladies. Whatever the first question is that comes through this chat, we're going to fire off and respond to that. So whoever's got a burning question, I know there were so many earlier around like sex magic and how do you use your sacred blood and like, let's see here. Let's explain sex magic. And then I see favorite daily manifestation rituals. I think we can answer both quickly. So ladies, if we can each maybe take 60 seconds to answer each in our own words, and we'll support the ladies with those 2 there.
Okay, so my favorite daily manifestation ritual is pretty much movement with touch. I touch, I speak to myself, I move, I have a playlist, my morning movement playlist. And for me, it's just coming into the body. And as Danny said, it's about, you coming back to the body and you know what it is to be receiving for the day. So aligning myself to how I feel, what I want, that's my biggest movement practice for manifestation. Even on the days that I don't feel good, I have separate playlists for different moods. So I just choose according to my mood and I let my body move because our bodies are meant to move. The feminine has to flow for you to experience more of it. So that's what I would like to say about my daily manifestation favorite ritual. Now, explain sex magic, right? So different teachers teach it differently. I follow the Taoist lineage, so Taoist and the classical Indian lineage, which is different from the Neo-Tantra, which is taught in the West. So it is about really connecting the 3 brains in our body, 3 brain centers in our body, which is, one is being the gut center, your womb space, your sexual center. The second brain is your heart center. And the third is your third eye, your higher consciousness. So sex magic is pretty much about really able to circulate our sexual energy through these channels. And I know some of you were writing like, but I don't have a partner and I don't like sex, I don't feel comfortable. This is perfect because sex magic is for you to begin solo and is best done as solo. And it is different from self-pleasure. It's not about just going into self-pleasuring, but it is about learning practices, how you can activate your sexual energy and then move it up into the different brain centers, higher consciousness in your body. So what I see is being taught is that sexual energy is generated, but what we've got to learn is to move that sexual energy through different energy centers in our body. And that's when the sex magic really happens. And I also don't believe in, thinking of one word when we are, like in the height of our orgasm or pleasure. Like it just takes me off and my body and into the mind. Like I cannot think of money, success, or like love or whatever, that one word. So I do a ritual where I create an energetic desire field and I put my intentions out there, and then I go into the practice in total surrender. So I don't have to be thinking in my mind when I am activated in my sexual energy. I also use divine masculine penetration practice, which helps in coordinating the the feminine and the masculine energies and creating a union. So it's a very solo practice, and you really don't need to have anyone for that. And it is so different from self-pleasure. Of course, it can lead to self-pleasure and you orgasming and having multiple orgasms, but that's never the goal. And there's so much I can say. It's a really specific methodology, but this is what I can say in short. And I do have some resources. If those of you want to connect with me, I can share some resources.
Thank you for sharing that, all of that juicy information. And Danny, would you like to add to that conversation around manifestation rituals and sex magic?
I feel like Jonita just did such a beautiful job. I'm just going to leave sex magic where it is. And yeah, I'm just mesmerized when you speak. I love it. And so happy to be on this panel with you. I did see one in the chat that I do want to address that I think a lot of people can relate to, which is, what if we're uncomfortable when we say our affirmations? We feel that constriction when we're saying it. And what I would invite you to do is pause and breathe into that constriction rather than trying to push it away. Sometimes this is why some people are like, affirmations don't work. They absolutely do work. The people they don't work for just don't know how to actually use them. So what can happen is when we say, I am wealthy, right? And maybe we're really in poverty consciousness, been there, don't worry about it. And I am wealthy, and we feel that constriction. It's like, okay, let me hold myself rather than saying, oh, I'm not, no, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. I'm going to say it 50 times. I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and bypass, push that away. I can say, oh, that constriction. Oh, what is that? Oh, I'm afraid I'm not good enough. Oh, where did I learn that? Oh, they told me I was stupid on the playground. And allow that to come up, and you might get tears, you might, whatever, or you might get rage, but it's about feeling that feeling, because the affirmation is a key code to clearing your shit out. So it's not, I am wealthy, and then I become wealthy. It's, I am wealthy. Great. You're telling that to the universe. The universe is going to come back and say, cool, I want you to be wealthy too. We got to clear out all your shit now. And they're going to bring it up, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to work through it. And it's absolutely perfect, because when we claim positivity, we feel negativity. That can happen because we're saying, the universe says, I want you to have that beautiful life. So let's get rid of all this garbage. That's really not even yours. You just adopted it from society. It's not your fault. You're just responsible for cleaning it up. So let's get that out of there and then go. So I would encourage you to stick with your affirmations, giving yourself the permission to pause and feel, pause and feel, pause and feel, excavate your garbage, excavate your garbage, excavate your garbage. And eventually you're going to feel more clarity, and you're going to feel more open to that affirmation statement. Hope that makes sense. You're muted, my love.
I was just saying thank you to both of you for sharing that juicy wisdom and knowledge. And I still see so much conversation in the chat. Today really has clearly brought up a lot, especially the conversation around the body, because there's a lot of conversation of how you receive yourself, how others perceive you, like societal norms, and how do you relate to partnership and friendship and all these things. And then the topic of conversation around sexuality in the body takes it even deeper. And I'm seeing some conversation in the chat around not feeling comfortable with the act of lovemaking. And I have totally been there. One of the things I don't really share often, and this is something that I get to maybe bring into this space, is I lost my virginity really young. I lost my virginity at 14 years old. And some of the acts that were happening to me, I didn't even know they were a thing until they were happening to me in real time. And so I carried trauma in the body around lovemaking for a really long time, and even mentally as well, because I grew up in such a Christian community. Like, the conversation about sex was just, you will go to hell if you have sex. And so I mentally couldn't even wrap my mind around it. And it was just, it was hell for me, genuinely, of even trying to have any resonance with my body and allowing anybody else to touch me. So I'm sending so much love to those of you who are working through that. And even for me, from time to time, and I'm in partnership, in a very beautiful, loving partnership. And it comes up sometimes where I have to tell Muriel, like, I can't, like, I'm not feeling comfortable and safe right now, and it's not you. I just need to be me with me. And you're allowed to take that space. Even if you are in partnership, you are not required to give your body to anybody at any point in time if you don't feel comfortable. You are always in a space to say no. And so I just want to invite more of these conversations because women get to have them. And I know, at least for me personally, there wasn't space for me growing up to have these level of conversations. And this is also why I've created this community, so we can have these conversations that maybe in our other worlds, we don't feel comfortable or safe to be able to do so. This is a safe community where it's all on the table. There is nothing that is too taboo. Like, if we're going to bring it into this space, like, let's have the conversation, let's clear it and heal it. Because when we do the work for ourselves, we do the work for the collective. So thank you, ladies, for this beautifully deep, intimate, rich conversation that we had. And I think there was one question we may not have answered. Favorite daily manifestation ritual. I'll respond to that one. It's probably going to be no surprise here to anyone. A goddess bath or a goddess shower. Like, literally, I don't do baths every single day, but I definitely do at least once or twice a week, and I'm showering daily. And so I turn my showers into a ritual every single time. Lights are dim. With lighting, I light candles. I do a little bit of like scents. I like pour like Epsom salts on the floor, sometimes flowers. Like, doesn't have to be a whole thing, but like I add at least one piece of something. Definitely the lighting. I'm telling you, just like plug in some Christmas lights or something in your bathroom and watch the energy shift, and turn the lights off and get in the shower. I promise you, it's a whole mood. It doesn't need to be a lot, but it's really about you taking the opportunity for you to be with you. Genuinely. Take time for you to be in ceremony. And like Danny said, she makes her whole life a ceremony. I do too. My whole world is a ritual. Everything's a ritual. Everything's a ceremony. So thank you to you both, queens, you goddesses. I acknowledge you both for being here, taking the time and sharing your blessings, your codes, your knowledge, your wisdom, your gifts, your offerings. I appreciate you. I acknowledge all of you goddesses for showing up here this week, playing full out. So many of you have been here for every single session. To our new goddesses, welcome. Get caught up on these replays. Once again, we do have the replay bundle available for $22. We have tomorrow morning again at 9 a.m. We are focusing on our visions and our gifts. And like I mentioned this morning, I'm going to be sharing ways that we can continue to work together even past this challenge, because I know so many of you have questions around that. I've already been getting it up in the DM. So we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. So do not miss tomorrow's session, because it's all about vision and gifts. So we're going to go deep into manifestation. We're going to talk about how we can continue to work together. And then also we'll be doing our giveaway sponsored by Rachel Robinson, her beautiful book of poetry about love. So you don't want to miss that. And then we'll be starting our next giveaway. So we've got a lot going on. There's so much more to come in this experience. And I just honor and acknowledge each and every single one of you for being here. So I'm going to check into the gallery as we say goodbye, because I know we went a little bit over, but we were in such a juicy conversation. I wanted to give us that space, ladies. So for those of you on camera, hello, love seeing your faces. And I would love to take a photo, actually. Thank you, Elena, for reminding me in the chat to do a picture. So whoever's available, please come on camera so we can let the paparazzi capture us, because this is the Leading Lady Challenge. So let the paparazzi come online. Oh my gosh, yes, Yanni in the tub. I am here for you, queen. Yes, shout out to the goddesses in the tub. I am here for it. So for those of you still here, if you can come on camera, I'd really appreciate that. Let's let the paparazzi see us. I'm going to hold space for a couple more seconds for some of you to come on camera. Yes, hey, B. Come on camera, ladies, so we can get the paparazzi photo. Going once, going twice. Oh, we got more coming. We got more coming. Sold. Okay. Stephanie says crying in the kitchen. Honey, I have cried in the kitchen a lot too. I feel you. If you still need to cry in the kitchen and you don't want to come on camera, cry in the kitchen, honey. Cry. Let them tears out. I've cried in the kitchen too, a whole lot. I also cried in the kitchen. Hi, Queen. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, beautiful goddess. I'm so happy you joined us on camera. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Elena, please get one as well, because you know I always mess this up every time. All right, ladies, on the count of 3, we're going to smile for the paparazzi. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do another one, maybe strike a different pose this time around. All right, and then one more. Let's have some fun with it. Okay. Yes, smile for the paparazzi. Thank you, ladies. It has been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m., goddesses. Good night.